Hello and welcome to Get Your Mind On. I'm Lori Stoss. When we think about the word connect and connection, what does that mean to you? There's so many ways today in our world that we're able to connect to others. We think about all the social media that's out there. We're creating all these communities and different ways for people really to connect to each other. And those connections are made for many reasons. Those connections may be for job opportunities. The connections may be for when we're trying to recruit others. It could be just to get to know others and expand our ideas and our business thinking. But there's also a need to connect just for people. Everybody has a need to want to be part of something in some way. Some of us need a little bit more connection than others, but everybody really does want a sense of belonging and have a need for being part of something. So when you think about connecting, think about your day. What are the different ways that you connect? It could be everything from that initial conversation that you go through Starbucks, scooters, and there might be a connection there with that smile or that extra tip, or you hear that person on the other end go, "Oh, well, good morning, Lori, do you want your same order today? The hot tea that you always have." And so they know you, so they're creating a connection with you. And how does that make you feel? That connection makes you feel really, really good. So thinking about that, the other way is, that when you walk into the office in the morning and just saying good morning versus your head is maybe already going into the work and you're just focused and you're late for a call and you're rushing and you're all the way and forgot to say hello to everyone along the way. It might just be that smile, that good morning, even if you're on the phone, the eye contact, a way to connect with others. And so there's that important connection that's continually a need and a way. And those connections maybe come from those gestures. It may come from the words that you say. And the other way can also be touch. Now, of course, that's not appropriate in some of our environments. But when you think about your kids in the morning or your spouse, just that nice hug, that connection that they may need. I was in the long-term care facility last weekend, and it was just observing people as they were walking in. And it's, of course, those environments are not always the most joyful environments because there's a lot going on there. And this was in a dementia unit and memory loss unit. And just the connection of an elderly individual sitting there and the lady who came up to them and just touched them. Just the emotion, the smile, of that person, it just really, you could tell, meant a lot. So that's another way to make those connections. We think about that networking on Facebook, the networking on Twitter. We're connecting to people all the time. And so connections may not be touch, may not even be in person. They may be sometimes by our technology. We just have such a way to connect. So I really want you to think about connecting with others and what does that really mean? And first thing is you really need to value humans. The importance of valuing human beings is really, really important. So of course you got to like people and you got to respect the humanity and what it's about. The other thing is being genuine when you make your connections is very important, is be yourself. We all have different ways to connect, but just knowing that that's important both for you and others. Another way to make connections is by serving or helping. Some of us may not have the personalities that we like to just walk up to anybody and start that conversation or lend that smile first. But it could be that somebody just has their hands full and can't open the door and you open the door for them, or just bring them their coffee that day, or just do something of service. So find the way that means something to you. I want it to be meaningful to you when you think about connecting with others. It could be for some of you who are maybe just more data-driven and report-driven that your connection is sending an article to a client or to somebody in your office because you spent a lot of time reading and you saw something that made you think of them. That was a really important thing. People go, wow, you remembered that. That makes an important connection. So that a connection to others, of course, is pretty common in our environment. But I also want you to think about how can we get to that point of connection. When we're not connecting with others, there's usually something going on with us. Some days we just don't feel as excited to connect. So the second way I really want you to think about, or who is connecting with yourself, is that you need to take time every day to connect with you and find out where you're at, what's going on in your world. taking some time, just whether that's in the morning or at night, just writing a few things down about what great happened in my day today, and maybe what are some things that are bothering me or that I'm struggling with. Or even when you're driving to work, just turn the radio off and just take a little time to really just be with yourself and find out, what do I need today? Or what's on my mind? I feel like I've been in a flurry. A client pointed out to me the other day that he asked if I was okay because I'd seemed to have a little higher pace. My pace was a little quicker. I seemed to be rushed. And that gave me some time to stop and think that evening, then what's going on that maybe I have in my world today that's causing me to be a little bit rushed. So I needed some time to connect with myself to see really what was going on. And then the third way to connect is sometimes we need to really move ourselves to that next level. We're all connected to the world in a greater way. We all have a sense of purpose of why we exist on this earth. And that's a little, deeper perspective. But sometimes it's easy for people to connect with nature, just to sit outside. Hopefully the weather's going to be nice here soon, and you can sit outside and just be silent and listen to the sounds around you and observe nature. Sometimes it may be a greater being, God, or someone that you really think about, how can I connect with a greater being and a sense of the world in a greater way. So really think a little bit deeper of those connections, because if we really don't have our purpose aligned with ourselves, it's really hard to give back to others when you just think about that going from the core. The core is, what is that greater sense of being, that connection to earth or to God, to ourselves, and then to giving back to others. So when you think about yourself as a leader or manager or just an individual performer, all of that's important. That relationships are important. When we connect, connections allow those relationships to build. They allow great ideas. Sometimes we want ideas and we can't get them all ourselves. Those connections allow collaboration. Those connections really allow other ideas to come out that we may not even considered. And it also allows us to be a greater part of a bigger community in a bigger way and accomplishing more, whether that's in our organization or in the community or in the world today. Our positive charge for this week is, first, how much time do you spend connecting with others? When you think about your day, how much time do you spend connecting with others in person? Maybe by telephone or by social media. There's lots of different ways to connect, but really think about what's important to you and those different methods. So phone, in person, or social media. Second thing is, think about connecting with yourself. How much time do you connect with yourself in terms of some silence? So take some time this week to maybe even take 5 minutes in a day, or shut that radio off for one song, or maybe the first 5 minutes of your drive, or 10 minutes, whatever, just to be conscious and aware that you need some time to really connect with what you need. And finally, connecting with something greater than yourself, taking a deeper look at really your sense of purpose, whether that's that relationship with God or the connection to the world or to the earth, and stopping to think about, what is that for you? So those three things are going to be your focus for this week with your positive charge. So remember that connections are really important. They build those relationships. They build those ideas, the collaboration, the community that we all need. We all have a need to belong and be a part of something emotionally. That's just a basic human need. And all of us have it in different ways, but take some time to think about that for you this week and make that interaction a connection. Thanks for joining us today, and remember to get your mind on.